This is the problem we're trying to solve. We have scientific leaders who develop wonderful, sound statistical theories that work. In theory, those theories are implemented by the educators, and this is what is taught to the manufacturers, and the same concepts that are used by the manufacturers and the frontline staff reflect what the scientific experts have recommended. Those same concepts are used by the senior techs to troubleshoot, etc., to say, is quality okay? They're rounded up to the quality managers. The lab directors are applying the same concepts, and the national associations and regulatory bodies are making sure that this is what happens in theory. In practice, there is a gap between theory, as Yogi Berra said, in theory, there's no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is a difference. Personally, I blame it all on the system. There are approximately 250 people, I would say, here at the top, creating these theories. There are in the U.S. 250,000 in the quality managers, senior techs, etc. What's missing is this process that takes these theories down here to be taught and certified to the people who are going to use them. Okay, now it gets fun. Life is not a spectator sport, and that's part of these webinars. They're going to be very interactive. These, by the way, just to show you, and I can put these up on the website for you if you like. If you're doing presentations, what I've done for the last couple of years is give the people in the audience these little voting cards, and then when you ask a question, you see a flash of different colors and different letters going around the audience, and that brings to light to you and to them the lack of consistency in how people interpret quality control. So we're going to stop here, and if I'm lucky, I'll push the buttons right, and we're going to go into 5 dysfunctional Christmas tree. I think what gives me a unique perspective on quality control is that perhaps more than anybody else, I've spent time on every branch of that tree. My heart and my roots are at the front line. That's where, I spent many years very close to the front line. I've been called in at 3 in the morning. I've seen the difference this makes to doctors and patients. And these are the people who would do such a wonderful job if only they had a little bit of support. Where do you fit on the tree? How many hours a week do you spend on quality control working with numbers, charts, and QC rules? When you first graduated, how many hours of formal education did you have in the QC concepts and statistics? And this is going to be a recurring question as we go along. How confident are you that your lab's QC protects patients? It was at this point in the webinar that there was a quality failure. There had been a quality check just before the poll started, but there was no quality check after that. And from that point on, the screen froze on that one image. The people who were watching, those wonderful patient people, sat there and watched that one screen. The operator was blissfully unaware. The QC process in use had not been verified, and the operator was not certified competent. So the show went on. We've got a great mix of people here, and that is exactly what we're hoping for, and we're hoping for that mix to grow. When you first graduated, and this is interesting, I've asked people about this at CSMLS last year and at the Canadian Society of Medical Lab Science and at AACC. How many hours formal education did you have in QC and statistics at the time you graduated? And most people here said 0 to 10 hours. About a third said virtually none, and the rest said 0 to 10 hours. And that, I think, is the crux of the problem that we're working with, is that the concepts we're teaching from a statistical basis are simply too complicated to get across in a 10-hour period.